Hi students, myself Satish Kumar Konidala, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Vignan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, Guntur. In previous video, we discussed about the anti-hyperlipidemic agents. In that, we covered regarding the introduction to hyperlipidemias. So that means how the hyperlipidemias are produced. So what are the causes for the different types of hyperlipidemias and lipoproteins which are caused for the hyperlipidemias. And we also discussed about the classification of anti-hyperlipidemic agents. In that, we already discussed about the chemistry, mechanism of action, structural activity relationship of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors as well as the fibric acid derivatives. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the remaining classes of anti-hyperlipidemic agents. That includes bile acid sequestrants, low density lipoprotein oxidation inhibitors, pyridine derivatives, cholesterol absorption inhibitors, and finally miscellaneous agents. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the chemistry, mechanism of action, structural activity relationship of these class of anti-hyperlipidemic agents. So by watching this video, student could able to understand the chemistry, mechanism of action, structural activity relationship of all these classes of anti-hyperlipidemic agents. Let us see one by one. First, we will discuss about the bile acid sequestrants. They are also called as bile acid binding agents. Bile acid binding resins. So they are also called as bile acid binding resins. Example are cholestyramine. Examples are cholestyramine, cholestyapol. So these are the two examples for bile acid sequestrants. So these drugs are also called as bile acid binding resins. So when you see in the chemical structure of cholestyramine, so it is a anionic resin . So this is the chemical structure of cholestyramine. So it is a anion resin, that means it is having the positive charge. It is a positively charged anionic resin. And when you see in the chemical structure of cholestyapol, So this is the chemical structure of cholesterol. So that means these two drugs are positively charged or anionic resins. These two drugs will bind with the bile acids which are present in the gut or intestine. So thereby they can form the inabsorbable complex or insoluble complex. So thereby the bile acids which are not reabsorbed from the gut. Coming to the mechanism of action. So generally in the liver, cholesterol is subjected to metabolism and it can able to form the bile acids. And these bile acids are secreted into the gut or intestine. And at this intestine or gut, they are actively reabsorbed. So they are reabsorbed into the liver again. So all these are happening in the liver. And due to the enterohepatic circulation, so this bile acids which are present in the gut or which are secreted into the gut, again they are, so that means 90% of these bile acids which are secreted into the gut are reabsorbed. So when you stop this reabsorption, what will happen? The cholesterol metabolism is increased, and this reabsorbed bile acids which will inhibit the cholesterol metabolism by inhibiting the microsomal hydroxylase enzyme. Microsomal hydroxylase enzyme. So the reabsorbed bile acids from the gut into the liver, they will inhibit the action of microsomal hydroxylase enzyme, and this enzyme is responsible for conversion of cholesterol into bile acids. So that means when the bile acids are reabsorbed from the gut into the liver, what will happen? The cholesterol metabolism is stopped by inhibiting the microsomal hydroxylase. So for that reason, the cholesterol level in the liver is increased, thereby different types of lipoproteins are increased, they are entered into the plasma or bloodstream. When you prevent the reabsorption of bile acids into the liver from the gut, then we can indirectly increase the cholesterol metabolism into bile acids. So for that reason, we'll use the bile acid sequestrants or bile acid binding agents that are nothing but the cholestyramine or cholestyramine. So these two drugs will bind to the, so there is a binding between the bile acids which are present in the gut and these resins. So thereby they can able to form the insoluble complex that are not able to reabsorb. So in this way we can prevent the reabsorption of the bile acids from the gut. Thereby we can increase the cholesterol metabolism in the liver. I will repeating the mechanism of action of these drugs once again. So generally in case of liver, the cholesterol is subjected to metabolism so that is converted into bile acids. So the cholesterol is undergoes metabolism and it is converted into bile acids by the action of microsomal hydroxylase enzyme. And the formed bile acids are secreted into the gut or GIT. Okay, and generally 90% of these bile acids which are present in the or which are secreted into the gut or GIT reabsorbed. So these are reabsorbed by the enterohepatic circulation. Enterohepatic circulation. So the bile acids are again transported to liver, again transported into the liver, and these bile acids which are reabsorbed will inhibit the microsomal hydroxylase enzyme, thereby the cholesterol metabolism is decreased or depressed, so that the cholesterol concentration is increased in the liver. Okay, that is happening in normal condition. So when you prevent the reabsorption of these bile acids which are present in the gut or GAT, so thereby will increase the microsomal hydroxylase enzyme, so that can able to convert the cholesterol into bile acids. Okay, so this is the phenomenon involved in the bile acid sequestrants or bile acid binding resins. Okay, so this prevention is done by the some of the agents like cholestyramine, and cholestyramine. These two drugs will bind with the bile acids. They can form the insoluble complex, and this insoluble complex cannot able to reabsorb by the enterohepatic circulation. Thereby they are excreted through the feces. So in this way we can increases the cholesterol metabolism. So when the cholesterol metabolism is increased, the levels of cholesterol in the liver is decreased. So thereby the lipoproteins production from the liver also decreases, and we can decrease the concentration of different types of lipoproteins in the plasma or blood. So this is the mechanism of action involved in the bile acid sequestrant or bile acid binding resins. The adverse reactions of these drugs includes nausea, heartburn, bloating, and constipation. And coming to the pharmacological uses, they are used in the treatment of type 2A hyperlipoproteinemia, and also used in the treatment of pruritus associated with biliary obstruction. So these type of drugs can be used for the treatment of type 2A hyperlipoproteinemia, and also used in the treatment of pruritus associated with the biliary obstruction. Next class of anti-hyperlipidemic drugs are nothing but LDL oxidation inhibitors, or they are also called as plasma LDL decreasing agents or reducing agents. So these are the drugs which can able to decrease the plasma low density lipoproteins. Example is Prabucal. So this is the one of the drug which can decrease the plasma low density lipoproteins. So when you see in the chemical structure of Prabucal, so it is a bis dibutyl phenol derivative, also containing sulfur moieties. So it is a bis. Bis means two. Two dibutyryl phenols. So this is the dye. So this one, butyls. So there is a butanol. So there is a two butyl substitutions and also a phenol. So this is the phenol moiety. So this is the phenol moiety. So bis. So bis means two. Two dibutyl phenol sulfur containing moiety. So this is the structure of probucol. And this probucol will reduce the oxidation of low density lipoproteins in plasma. In plasma, this is the important one. In plasma. So generally what will happen when you see in the life cycle of lipoproteins, so in liver, very low density lipoproteins are produced. So what is the composition of very low density lipoproteins? It consisting of about 90% of the lipid and 10% of proteins. And due to the action of lipoprotein lipase, these are subjected to partial digestion. So that means some portion of the triglycerides are subjected to digestion. Then they are converted into intermediate density lipoproteins. That means it consisting of 80% of lipid plus 20% of protein. And again, due to the action of, so further action of these lipoprotein lipases, they are also digesting the some amount of triglycerides, so thereby, and also removes the apolipoprotein C and E, lipoprotein C and E. So generally in case of very low density lipoprotein, so it consisting of apolipoproteins like B, C and E. But in case of LDL, it consisting of only apolipoprotein B only. So that means, so the action of lipoprotein lipase will remove the, so will digest the apolipoproteins like C and E, so that the density of these proteins or particles is increased, thereby it forms the low density lipoproteins. So when you see the mechanism of action of these plasma low density lipoprotein reducing agents, so they can reduce the LDL concentration in plasma, speed up the removal of LDL from the plasma. So it can decrease the low density lipoproteins in plasma and also can speed up the removal of LDL from the plasma. So that means the ultimate action of these drugs are nothing but they can decrease the LDL concentration in the plasma. When the LDL is subjected to oxidation, then the content of low density lipoprotein, that is nothing but the triglycerides or fatty acids, are deposited into the plasma. So when it is happening in plasma, so when the oxidation of the low density lipoproteins are happened in the plasma, then what will happen? The content of low density lipoprotein are nothing but triglycerides and fatty acids are deposited into the plasma or bloodstream. Okay, so when you prevent this oxidation of these low density lipoproteins, prevention, so that is by the drugs like probucol, then we can decrease the deposits of low density lipoprotein contents. Okay, thereby we can decrease the lipid content in the plasma or blood. So in this way, these drugs will show the anti-lipidemic activity.